Greetings, respected viewers. I'm George from Ireland. Here I am on Box Hill, Surrey, beside the grave of a notable eccentric, Peter Labelliere. Now, I know it's spelled Labelliere with an E as the fourth letter, but that's usually an I. So it seems that they got it wrong when they put this cube-shaped gravestone up here. So he's born in Dublin in 1825, probably. Now, he had that surname because his ancestors were Huguenots, as in French Protestant refugees who moved to Ireland a couple of generations before his birth. So he was a communicator of the Church of Ireland. Anyway, he was literate. A lot of people were illiterate in the 18th century. He enlisted in the British Army, not in the Irish Army, because we had our own separate army back then, well, as we do again. And he eventually rose to the rank of major, but that took him 21 years. And then he had an honourable discharge. I don't know what trade he pursued to sustain himself when he left military life, but he dabbled in radical politics. He sympathised with the American Revolution. He was a correspondent of Benjamin Franklin, and he was an anti-war agitator, trying to persuade people not to volunteer for the British Army in order to crush the American Revolution. So the government found him very irritating. But despite his agitation, which arguably amounted to sedition, he was never prosecuted in relation to that. So he shifted here to England, and he lives at Dorking, which is very close to here, which is just below Box Hill, where I am now. And he was known for his infamous neglect of personal hygiene. The walking dunghill, they called him, such was his horrid stench. So he's a man of extraordinary, unusual habits, just rejecting normality and convention. I'm not one for mindless conformity either, but he's perhaps a trifle too eccentric even for me. Anyway, he rejected all religion, and when he died, he proclaimed that he ought to be buried head first. So he is buried with his head downward. I'm not sure what happened to the original gravestone. It's thought this gravestone is slightly in the wrong place. This is erected in the 1950s. He's thought to have been buried a few metres that direction. Perhaps I could try to exhume him. And we're near the whites, which is the cliff face on the western edge of Box Hill. So that's really enough about Peter Labelliere. Well, major, it's got his rank there. So he was remembered for centuries, and he's listed in these books of extraordinary British eccentrics. Right, toodaloo.